Hi everyone, and thank you so much for joining our live stream today. My name is Kate Hateva, and I'm a founder of Career Pathway Institute. We are a nonprofit organization that helps internationals to build their careers here in the US. And our main focus for now is dependent visa holders who put their careers on hold following their spouses in the US. And most of them, they can't work due to visa restrictions and other reasons, and they're facing such challenges like career gap, lack of industry knowledge, no relevant network, cultural differences, and so on. So we are here to help. And I live here in Silicon Valley. It's a very popular place for working in IT field, and many people they are considering switching their careers to something relevant to IT field. And today we have a very special guest, Katerina Prisnitsova, who will share her career path to QA. And please welcome Katerina. Could you please briefly introduce yourself?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate your time. Okay, let's get started, and I will provide my quick experience and my knowledge. So I joined the field of QA 10 years ago, and I started my journey from QA Partnov School. For the last 5 or 6 years, I'm mostly focusing on startups and help them to build QA processes, quality culture in the company, and also build QA teams, QA contractors teams, and lead as a QA all high priority projects. At this moment, I'm working at OpenSea. I'm QA lead, and OpenSea, this is the first one and the largest NFT marketplace. And before we will dive in more about the QA career path, I just wanted to let you know that will be some resources that I will share, and those resources we will publicate after this presentation. So I'm no secrets. I'm sure to provide all my details. Okay, let's get started.
Let's get started. And please feel free to drop your questions in the comment section below, and we will ask Katerina to share her experience. Okay,
Yep.
The stage is yours.
Amazing. Thank you all. So how to start? As I mentioned, from my experience, I started from QA Bootcamp, and there are a lot of them available. My main pro tip, when you do research, make sure they provide the real experience, because all those experience you will use in the future when you will build your resume. There is a lot of online QA courses available, and while I was building this presentation, I found really comprehensive courses on Udemy and Coursera. One pro tip, I'm sure, because I'm using Udemy, before holidays, they drop the prices, and Columbus Day is coming. So maybe check on Monday if you're considering to take any QA classes. This will be an opportunity for you to save the money. Quick story. Yesterday, I went with my team to socializing event and we played golf. And one of the coworker was such a good player. I stopped by and asked him, wow, you're playing fantastically. How did you learn? And he replied to me, oh, I just watch YouTube videos. Okay, guys, YouTube channels for QA, there are a variety of them. You need to find what is more feels comfortable for you, whom you are interested, and the content and so on and so on, but please explore. Once you build this fundamental knowledge about QA processes, you don't need to learn everything. Nobody knows everything. Believe me, I am in the field more than 10 years. I'm still Googling. I'm still watching YouTube and something you don't know. But my main point, start to use your knowledge. There are multiple freelance testing platforms are available. UTest, Testerwork, user testing, and we will provide all those links. From my experience, I use UTest when I was studying like 10 years ago. So it's still on the market, like 10 years on the market, like highly recommend. Apparently they know how to do business. So how it works, you sign up, you provide the list of devices you have it, and they send you project if you are qualified, and basically they pay you on the amount of bugs you reported. Of course, it's not a Silicon Valley salary, but just look at this as a practice, right? Because you need to get the experience. You need to feel this heads on. Okay, let's talk about the role of QA. This is the most important, QA plays the most important part in the company. It's very critical, even though sometimes we are behind the scene. And how everything is starting from gathering the requirements. You review those requirements. It might be product requirements, engineering requirements, design. Once you get familiar with the product, you start to work on test planning and vertical reviews. What do you mean vertical reviews? You share your test plan and test coverage with the team and collect feedback from them and make your test plan is even more comprehensive. Once the code is ready for you to test, you start the test execution based on what you implemented before from your test plan, right? At the same time, you need to work on the triaging process. Basically, once you collect all those issues, what you should do, right? You need to prioritize and you need to assign to engineers who will fix it. But not everything can be fixed, right? Because usually in startup, we have very tight deadlines. So meet with your product manager, with the lead of engineering, and prioritize from the high to the low priority. Once your product is became more stable and you can easily go end-to-end flow, invite your team, invite the company if you are working to start up, and organize bug bashes. So what does it mean? You get together and you start to test and improve the product even on a higher scale. If the company has a beta user program, send those to your first users, right? This is incredible experience. You will get the hands-on experience before feature will go live from beta. And if you don't have a beta program, just think about you can create one, right? Just use those opportunities. So once the product is polished and looks nicely and shiny, start your QA sign-off process based on your test plan that you created, right? On step number 2. And once the product is shipped to customers, everyone is kind of feels they're on vacation. But it's not. This is the most important and critical step that all engineers are literally chilling because they finish. But as a QA, you need to monitor external feedback. What does it mean? You need to monitor any social media. If your customers are posting something, oh, this things doesn't work, oh, I don't know how to navigate from there, and collect this feedback. It might be Twitter, it might be from Google Play, from Apple Store reviews if you're working on mobile, or it might be some customer support tickets, right? So collect those feedback and improve the product. Okay, so this is the role of QA. Challenges in QA. Who doesn't have challenges? Believe me, everything is in challenge, especially if you're in startup. So my first advice, communication and collaboration across cross-functional teams. So as you learn about the product, right, there is a lot of people who help to build this product. Think about the security team, legal team, other teams who collaborating. You just need to start to communicate and collaborate and understand how all the services are connected to each other, how all teams are connected and who owns what. Once you will get on this level of understanding, you're unstoppable because you can find out who needs to fix what, right? And this is the important part, not to spend time on debugging and find the right owner. You know the logic and you're right to the point. Technical innovations. There are so many tools that on the market, even sometimes I keep getting lost. So many AI, right? It's everywhere. But I would highly recommend you to start with the tools that used in your company, right? Get familiar with them. Learn about those tools. Use those tools to improve your quality. And if there is no documentation about those tools, this is a great opportunity for you to help other engineers to learn about, right? Or organize the tech talks, get people together and see who is more knowledgeable on the company, and you can learn from there. Balancing speed and quality. This is always a compromise. Believe me, as a QA, we are inspectors who work on the quality. But there is a developers, and especially my experience from startup, the features that can be developed during the months, the timelines are so fast and aggressive. We are delivering this feature in days or weeks. So as a QA, you need to adjust to this path of the developer path. And this is tricky. And sometimes you need to compromise, but you need to be always on top of the things. Tips for advancing your QA career. So as I mentioned, understand the product functionality. Not only the front end, not only the pictures that you can see on your website or any application. Try to learn what is behind, how the API works, how the services are working, what database the company is using, right? Just try to build those knowledge. How can you do this? You can get this from mentorship, right? Build a close relationship with the product, with the design, with your developers. When I joined OpenSea, it was a completely different new world for me, and I didn't know anything about contract or blockchain or Web3 technology. So what I did, I collected all my list of questions and ask my manager or schedule a meeting with engineers who can help me to understand, because those technology are really hard, and you need to it takes some time, right, to build those knowledge. So this is an amazing opportunity to learn from your coworkers. So take initiative and be proactive. As a working at startups for many years, believe me, startups doesn't have any documentation. This is a great opportunity for you to become a champion on the team. Once you see some repetitive task or processes, as an example, to set up testing environment that needs to set up every week, and you already know, but there is some tricks and tips. Write the documentation. The new engineer who will join the team will very appreciate you, right? Because he doesn't know what to ask, where to go, and you just, oh yes, please use my steps. Here is the documentation. And of course, continue learning. Based on my experience, once I finished QA computer school as a QA bootcamp and started my internship, after 6 months, I got enrolled in the community college. If you live in California, Bay Area, it's a Foothill College. And I started to take classes in Java first, and I think in 1 year I took classes in Python. So first, it helps me to understand the code of engineers, and I can test even on a deeper level just through the code. Secondary, it's open up a door for me to automation. And the third thing, I'm still writing code, not as much as I do before, but I'm trying to submit those PRs once in a time just to keep my mind to remember the logic of coding. And you can also explore different classes. If you're not interested in coding, there is a SQL, there is tools that you can improve, like networking and so on and so on. Just build your knowledge gradually. Okay, from knowledge to potential growth. So the most important part to go to engineering field, right? It opens up you so many opportunities. It's open up so many engineering roles for you once you are in. And QA engineer, I wouldn't say it's the simplest, but this is the most possible way for you if you don't have a computer science degree. So as a QA engineer, you can grow to QA engineering lead. From there, it's very natural for people to go to engineering management or technical project management. So if you got really interested in coding, and usually company already have some automation, learn about automation framework, take some language class, and start to help your developers to build automation. So from this flow, you can change your career and become a software developer in test as that. And if you fall in love with coding, of course, you can become a software engineer, and you will be super powerful because on another side, you already know the QA knowledge, and now you're an engineer, so you will produce code-free bugs. You will be the best on the company. Okay, I think these are resources, and we will share after this meeting. And yeah, I am on time. If you have any questions, please ask. I'm so happy to answer.
Oh, thank you so much, Katerina, for sharing so many useful information. And to be honest, I'm really impressed with this presentation. And meanwhile, I was listening. I have several questions. So the first question is do you really need to be a tech person to get to the IT field, to QA? Like what
Absolutely.
kind of skills you need to have?
Yeah, amazing question. Thank you. When I join QA, I have zero technical questions. Sometimes I really need to ask someone to restart my router because I didn't know how. So once I join the QA, it's mostly to learn about testing strategies and how to find issues, and you can use some tools. But basically, when you grow, when you work on a company for 1 year, you will hear those knowledge like API, services, database. Yeah, you will start to build on top of the basic knowledge of QA. Those technical skills will grow on you naturally because you are in this environment. But to join this field, if you have zero technical knowledge, you are welcome. Believe me, I was like 0 - 1 when I joined QA.
It's fun. Okay, we have several questions from the audience. So Evie is asking, once I learn the fundamentals of QA and I'm ready to start job searching, how can I properly prepare for interviewing?
Amazing question. Thank you for asking. I will provide some tips on my experience. So, first, when you build your resume, make sure you can talk about every word on this resume. Don't put extra because they will ask, right? So this is the one thing. The second thing, there are so many questions are available on internet. Just do Google search the most popular questions asked for on QA interview. Prepare for those questions, but not only write the answers. Just try to say this out loud, right? Just like practice. And usually questions, it's all about your experience. What's the most hard project you work on? What are the highest priority bug you reported? And so on and so on. Prepare those stories in advance. Have 2 examples. And if you are not native speaker like me, sometimes I just learn it by memory, because when you're on their interview, you're nervous, right? And you don't need to come up with those stories at that minute. You need to be prepared in advance and be confident. And when you don't know the answer, it's totally fine. Just don't lie. Just say, I didn't know the answer for this question, but I will go and do some research, and like tell how you will research the answer. So it gives the sense that, okay, you are stressed, right? You don't know the answer, but you know the solution, how you will go and get this answer if it's not at this moment.
Yeah,
So
that's
those
very
are,
important.
yeah, my pro
Yeah.
tips. But
Thank
you.
you. So the next question is from Emmy. What's the most challenging part of being a QA lead when you didn't have to deal with when you were an IC, like individual contributor?
Yeah, great question, Amy. Thank you. So, as a QA lead, you're almost, I mean, in startups, right? You're almost a QA engineer. You need to oversee everything, all teams, and we work on a very comprehensive projects, and there are multiple teams are involved. From my experience, what happened, like miscommunication. Some people were thinking we're doing this thing, another team was thinking we are building something else. So, and sometimes I just, okay guys, let's get together and have a meeting and talk about all this technical stuff that need to be prioritized and what will be our timelines. Because what happened in startups, we are so fast. I'm sure it's completely different if you're working in Google or on Apple or big companies, when you have more time to coordinate things. So as a QA lead, sometimes you need to take more responsibilities as a project manager. And on top of this, you need to check all the quality from both teams, even though some team doesn't require QA, but you need to be proactive. So there is one challenge. Another challenge, I would say, some people don't know you, right? Because as a QA lead, in a company, some teams probably will never work with QA. I have engineers who have no idea what the bug bash is, and I need to explain them. So sometimes you need to educate people how the quality is important. And as a QA lead, you have some leadership skills so that you need to communicate this very strongly and advocate for the quality. Because we have like, oh, we are shipping this by the end of the week. And I'm like, no, guys, let's see and prioritize what needs to be done and make sure our customers are not affected, because we have millions of customers, even we are startups, right? So you need to be advocate for those customers.
Wow, that's impressive. So we have another question from Erica. She's asking, hello, for a new tech bootcamp graduate, what coding language do you suggest is most popular to learn?
Great question. So when I choose what language to learn, if you already have a company that you are working on, ask them what language do they use, right? And if they have automation, what language and what framework they use for automation. If you are still don't have the company, right, and you are looking for a job, I would say go with Java. Java is the most classic language, and once you know one language, you can pick up other languages so quickly. And if you, I mean, it depends, right? If it's mobile automation versus web automation, do research. So Opium is basically the most popular for mobile framework. Start to make some research, and if you don't really know, start with Java. It's my recommendation. I started with Java, and now I can read other languages easily. And even though we are using completely different language at OpenSea, I didn't learn this language. I just, okay, my Java, it was good enough to understand, and the syntax was different. What is the syntax, right? It's semicolon or some extra stuff, but the fundamental things about class and object and method, it's so you can build those knowledge.
Thank you. And another question from Erica. Also, most QA job applications prefer 1 to 3 years of test experience and or a bachelor degree in computer science degree. What QA jobs should a new tech bootcamp graduate go for?
Amazing question. That cannot be better. That's true. I don't have a computer science degree, and all companies that I applied and got a job, everyone says computer science degree. It's fine to apply without computer science degree, believe me. I have engineers, top engineers in my company who doesn't have computer science degree. I think it's just by default, people just copy paste, but if you really knows how to test, you have the knowledge, and if you have a passion about, they will take you and they will teach you, right? When I joined my first internship, I have no idea what to do. I was like, open my eyes and just look, and they teach me slowly but surely. The most important part, to have this attitude. So this is the part of the question. 1 to 3 years. Yes, this is true. So what I did when I created my resume, of course, it was 6 months, right? How can I come up with 1 or 3 years? From my experience, back to Russia, I have my first degree in accounting, and I work in bank in a company. And sometimes we help like technical people to test new technologies that they implemented. So I put this experience as well. Of course, like it's a different country. It's also like didn't count. But once they see some experience, just look if you have something in your past that can be transferred to QA, right? I was accountant, and sometimes they ask me, "Oh, Katrina, can you please check this system if it's working or not working?" And I just, okay, sure, because I'm working with the system, and I reported issues to them. I have no idea that this QA engineering existed this time. I was just thinking, oh, I'm doing my QA accounting job. So this is one option. Another option, like as I mentioned, all those freelance platform, try to test them, try to make your 6 months to become 1 to 3 years. I know it's a little bit of lie, right? But if you became so quick in those experience, just put it there. Another option, try to find companies that are non-profit. Yes, it's not paid, but you can have this experience, right? And people can invite you. So the most important is the interview, how you will present yourself. We have because I've been in so many interviews in my life, and I build QA teams, and sometimes we're hiring like very junior QA because their potential was like as a rocket, and once we hire them, they perform even better than seniors because of their passion.
Wow. I really like your point about transferable skills, and I think a lot of people they don't realize that back in their countries, in different industries, in their previous careers, they already done some part of the job, and they have some skills that they can transfer and put in their resume. So sometimes it's also count, like you mentioned, you was doing this report, bug report, and it's already an experience. So it's all about how you can show up, how you can present your skills, and basically sell yourself.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was a question. It's yeah, very tricky one.
yeah. A last question from Erica. My tech bootcamp, we learned AI. Are you currently using AI for your test planning, or has any of your recent work opportunities started to incorporate AI? Oh, it's a great question.
Great question. I know everyone is talking about AI. If you don't have AI, I don't know, you're not a human anymore. If I'm using, I don't use AI in my day-to-day work. I just don't need it. We have all QA processes established, right? But if you're looking for opportunities, yes, I are ChatGPT. Like if I have any problem with a QA, how to test, I don't even know what I did the last thing, because we already have a testing template. But if you don't know what will be, you just join that startup company. They don't have zero QA processes, right? And you want to start one of the process. It just create a test plan. What you will include in your test plan? Yes, I will do research and probably ChatGPT and ask, can you please create a template based on my requirements and the company size and some other additional information. For my testing at this point on daily day-to-day, I'm not using AI. But I probably should do some research and see if there is any amazing tools available and get interact with them.
Yeah, that's a great question and a great answer. I think we have a couple of more minutes for the questions. I still waiting to ask my questions. um, After you graduated from the bootcamp, what's the right way to look for a job? Because I know that there's a lot of competitors on the market after graduating the courses, boot camps. How to stand out from the crowd and find your job?
Great question. So what I did from my experience, but it was 10 years ago, right? But it was also like everyone says, oh, nobody hiring right now, right?
Yeah.
Everyone doesn't have job. So I use the bootcamp who has this internship. Basically, they provide us internship, but you need to go through the interview. And the first interview was in a hardware company. So basically, it was chip related, whatever we have in our routers, those chips, or in our phones. So this is the company who built it. And it was tough. It was all about networking. And I knew that I was selected for this interview. And I prepared day and night and learn about TCP/IP protocols, about all the networking. And I got this internship. So I was lucky enough. I wouldn't say lucky. I was hardworking to get this internship. And just start to use those opportunities. Let's see if any internship are available. And as I mentioned before, nonprofit organization probably will be happy to collaborate with you. Like you test, build those hands-on experience, and try to go to maybe QA meetups where you can meet more QA and someone might be hiring. I help a lot of people through my connections to find a job. Just because or someone and people were looking for junior QAs. They just do you have anyone who is junior? We will teach them, because sometimes you're in such urgent, but you need to be in this environment, right? You need to socialize with those people. So this is
Yeah.
another advice where you can get connections and experience.
Yeah. So networking is one of those tools how to find the first job.
Yeah, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
My last question about the environment. We're already out of time, but just want to ask you,
Sure.
what about the work-life balance? Is it hard to be Q&A, Q&A, Q&A,
Yes.
QA, and just at the end of the day, could you just close the laptop and say, bye, don't disturb me, I'm
I
going, yeah,
wish. I wish. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm
yeah,
working in a startup, right? And I love to work in startup. I'm not seeing myself to work in a classical company where you can close your laptop at 6. I will be not interested, because here I can explore so many things and I can learn. Yeah, I have my life balance, but sometimes when we are launching the big features, as a QA, you need to be involved more, and especially close to the launch, right? Because you're fundamental, you're so critical for the quality of the product. Yes, I'm working sometimes late hours, but it's not every day. And if I work late hours, I know I have a great manager who will say after, okay, Katerina, now you can take 2 days off and just like reconnect. But if you doesn't have this amazing manager, or if you are looking for a job, also ask this in advance. What the expectations are from you on that side. And if you are tired, just go to your manager. I think those company now already try to prioritize like balance, and that people don't burn out, because they don't want to lose you. They invest in you so much to teach you all those knowledge. They want to keep you as much as they can, and ask for a couple days to reconnect with yourself. That's what I'm doing. So we launched such a big feature this week. And today I'm planning to close my laptop at 3 p.m. and go to enjoy amazing weather, ice cream, and yeah, enjoy myself.
that's wonderful. Just the very last question from my side. I know that you switch careers from accountant to QA, and from your point of view, knowing everything what you already know right now, what piece of advice you could give to yourself like 10 years ago when you just started to look for a new career?
Great question. I probably wouldn't change anything, because my accounting experience helped me so much. I'm so happy that I have my master's degree in accounting, because it turns out I only worked in finance company. I used to work at Robinhood, at Credit Karma, and this experience, accounting experience, finance experience, and even an NFT marketplace, it's also all about money, helped me a lot. But the advice I can give myself, uh, I was probably so hard on myself and try, oh, you need to learn this, you need to learn this, you need to learn this. And it just was nonstop, like one language after another language. Just try to find balance inside yourself, right? Don't prioritize automation on mobile, automation on web, QA bootcamps, and YouTube's channels. I don't know, like all those tools like Charles Proxy, Postman. Create your goals. What do you want to learn this month? And work on this. Don't jump, and you cannot have everything. Just slightly move from one side to another side, but you need to be persistent. It's not like if you study for 1 week and then 3 weeks like vacation, you wouldn't get up to speed. And those knowledge that you just learn, they will disappear, right? So just make your plan and be persistent step by step.
Thank you so much. I love what you said. It's very, very important to be consistent with your goal and to be persistent. I love it. Okay, I think we're around out of time today. Thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your experience. And if this live stream was helpful to you, please share with your friends, give us a thumbs up, and make sure that you subscribe to our channels, because we are hosting such kind of workshops and presentation and live streams on a regular basis. And if you have questions, please drop them in the comments below. We will ask Katerina to answer those questions later. And also we will provide all these useful resources in the description below of this video. So thank you again and see you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.